once again live. We are once again live. Hold on a second. I feel like I have a duplicated audio there. We can't have that. But what we can have is another purge of the BS. We are moving to a Saturday night event this weekend for weeks to follow. I feel like Saturday night is a good time to have a good place to unwind called the Purge of the BS. So we decided that this was going to be first week, all right? So for everybody that's already here in the chat, Purple Groovy, what's up? I see you in there. Mod Squad already showing up nice and early. So I can get started early because I ain't going to be with y'all all night. I don't normally do this thing on a Saturday night. But I figured I'd bring it to you this time. So as we do, because this is the one and only Purge of the BS, y'all get it. We must play the disclaimer, okay? Please stand by.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without consequence. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
Guys. All right, that's enough. Hold on, my camera. I'm gonna bring my camera up a little bit. I need y'all to see my forehead. All right, guys, we got a lot to cover tonight, so I'm just gonna get right into it. If you ain't here yet, that's fine. Catch it on the replay. But I had to start it with a feel good clip, right? Somebody sent me this AI thing. I told you I've been on this AI thing lately. I've been studying my AI stuff. I think everybody should really be getting into it. Try to learn what you can while you can before all the jobs require that particular knowledge. And you get basically planned obsolescence for your life. So they sent me a clip. I want y'all to see it. We're going to laugh and have a good moment. This one is babies doing a podcast. Somebody might have seen this before. I don't care. I saw it. I thought y'all needed to see it. Check this out. Make sure y'all can see this baby. It's the baby. Let's move the baby to the middle of the screen. Go. All right, so check this out real quick.
Welcome to the Talking Baby podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking to the weird-looking person who lives at my house. Thanks for being here, weird-looking person.
Well, thanks for having me. As you know, you are my third favorite person in the world, third behind the two larger people that we also live with. They're both awesome. So cool. You're fine. You know, and right now those two larger people are both busy and not paying attention to me at all, so happy to chat with you.
So to kick things off, I want to ask you a question, and I apologize in advance if it's naive or ignorant. Look, I'm a baby. I don't really know stuff yet, so just keep that in mind. So my question is this. What are you? Like, you clearly seem to be a very different kind of person than I am. Am I right? Like, because like people look different from each other, you know, like different sizes, skin tones, the hair. But you, awesome. I have no idea what's going on. Does this make any sense to you? Am I crazy?
Oh, no, dude, you're 100% right. I've had that thought so many times. Look, I don't really know what I am. That's not really the kind of thing I think about or care about. But I do know that I'm significantly different than you and the other people who live in this house. Like, for sure.
Okay. Well, so aside from how weird you look, what are other differences?
Well, for one, I'm not allowed to poo or pee inside the house. So you guys can do it no problem. You know, in your case, you just go in your pants wherever and whenever you want, which, by the way, mad respect. You know, that's one of the things I like the most about you.
I'm actually pooing right now.
Oh, I know. I can smell it. But yeah,
awesome,
for some reason, I can't go in here. You know, when I first got here, I did it a few times.
One day, I will be able to do this. Mark my words. I'll be able to do stuff like this. And I don't want nobody to tell me, oh, it's simple. Well, if it was simple, everybody would do it and it wouldn't be this funny. This is hilarious.
But the larger people that we live with were not into it. So I got the message after a couple weeks.
Huh. I wonder why that is. By the way, still pooing. It is flowing out of me. This is a good one.
I'm aware. You're also peeing. I can smell that too.
I am. Wow, that's impressive. Good nose. I'm going to ask you a last question before I start crying, because I don't love sitting in a pile of what feels like a hot brown cream of broccoli soup for too long. So let me ask you this, and I don't know if you can answer this, but it's what I've been thinking about recently. Why am I here?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, what even is this place? Like where are we and why? You know, I don't remember being here until recently. So like, where was I before that? You know, like I'm just constantly looking around going, what the F is any of this? And everyone's just acting like it's normal. We live in this house and you live here and I live here. But like, what? Like, why am I here?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. I actually have to go poo now, so I'm going to go sit by the back door and wait there patiently for an hour or two until someone notices me and lets me out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to start crying anyway because I desperately need to get out of this cauldron of watery butt porridge. Wah! Welcome.
So like I said, that was awesome. Wanted to have a feel-good story to lead in. For those of y'all that don't know, this was, of course, AI. There is not a real talking baby podcast, but I will tell you what, I am now a fan. I will watch this podcast. I would watch somebody put into adult words, not necessarily profane, but like adult words, what a baby would be thinking. Like the whole, what are we even doing here? Like, what is all of this? I thought that was pretty cool. The perspective was good. The animal perspective, it was actually really good. So it was well written. Whoever did this, let me see if I can see it here. No, it doesn't tell me exactly who wrote it or who did it, but it was a AI babies hosting podcast was the clip. So that was cool. That was cool. I like that. All right. Well, I guess we're not going to spend a lot of time on the babies today. No need for that. Let's see what we got next before I move on. You know, I got to preview some of this stuff before things get crazy. Because once it was something with a baby, then it becomes something with kids. And I don't mean it in no nasty way. That's not how we get down. We are protectors of the children here. But sometimes I just got to make sure, you know, that things are right. Okay, so I'm through with the baby. But that was cute. That was cute. Thank you, whoever, for doing that. Appreciate it. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's start getting thick. It's going to get thick yet? Okay. There's some thickness here. I don't know if I want to go that thick yet. Let me see what this other one is first. I don't know. This looks dangerous too.
Laughing, boys.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. Let me prep the audience. So we got 2 straight clips of just wild craziness, okay? I'm going to start with Crazy Karen, okay? Crazy Karen will go first. Age before beauty, I guess. The second clip has to do with a kid more so. So now we're not going into kids first. We're going to go into the kids second. But nonetheless, this lady just kind of goes crazy on some dudes. Here's the thing, all right? Now, I know some folks do this whole like filming in front of places and they like just do it just to incite somebody so that they can get some content and go viral because somebody told them they couldn't film something. I've seen this before. So this may have been that. Doesn't change the fact that the lady may have overreacted. I'll let you guys make your own decision, all right? So I think there's multiple pieces to this. Jesus, this is long. Like 10 minutes of my life. Hold on, I'm going to have to speed this one up. Yeah, I'm going to have to speed this up. So let's start with this one. Let's give this a little bit of speed to it. Let's go 1.5. She's probably going to sound crazy. But anyway, this lady pulls up. These guys are filming in front of the post office. And apparently a conflict or confrontation ensues.
Did he
Express to you. We're in the middle of taking audio and video. Right, so we're not interested in having a conversation right now. Is that okay with you?
No, it's not okay with me.
It's not okay with you that I'm not interested in having a conversation with you? You're going to force me to? You better take that mask off, a little oxygen into the brain there. I don't know what's going on. You feeling okay?
Uh-oh.
Whoa, what the fuck? What are you, out of your fucking mind, lady? Whoa, what the fuck? What are you, out of your fucking mind, lady? Whoa, what the fuck? What are you, out of your fucking mind, lady?
Yeah, I'm out of my fucking mind. What am I going to do?
You're going to hit me with your car?
Are you out of your mind?
Are you serious?
Do you have any idea that you can't sit there and take photos on federal property
Why don't you go call the
without
cops?
giving...
Why don't you go call the cops and I'll show them the video of you trying to hit me with your car and we'll get you arrested. How about that, smart ass? How about that? Back away from me. I'm telling you right now, stop walking up to me.
Back away from you?
Yes.
Get in your car.
Back away from me. Get in your car. Listen to him and get in your car and go home.
What they're doing is constitutionally protected. Get in your car and leave. I almost saw you hit him with your car.
Now, there is a lot going on in this hairstyle, but I feel the fire and the fury in it. I do. And I think this lady just naturally is angry at everything. I don't think she likes birds tweeting. She doesn't like ocean views. She's just angry, okay? She drives a very little car, and she still thinks it's a weapon. She's very angry. So I'm just saying, like, when you encounter these folks, if they look like this, you may want to, I hate to say not engage with these animals, but just stay safe out there is what I'm saying, okay? Because these people are crazy. This woman tried to hit this person with her car over basically nothing. Just you sitting there, why are y'all here? Well, I ain't got to talk to you. Okay, you don't want to talk to me, talk to my fender. It's her way of thinking. So you got to watch out for these
I don't take orders from schmoes like you boys.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to take orders from you and answer your stupid fucking questions. Get in your car and get out of here.
You cannot photograph people.
I'm doing it right now. What are you going to do about it?
Public.
What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
Uh-oh.
What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
Oh, he sprayed it with the bear spray. He hit it with the bear spray or something. Yeah, he hit it with the bear spray. Let's see if that does something. Ugh.
What are you going to do about it?
Hit you with the bear spray.
Stupid mistake, lady. You don't assault people out in public. Bad move.
Oh, you calling the police.
You gonna stick around and be a witness, buddy?
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Appreciate you. We got witnesses, lady. If I was you, I'd get in your car and go home before you dig yourself. I'm gonna have you arrested for trying to hit me with your car. So if I was you, I would just leave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you that chance because I'm not gonna call the cops on you. You wanna call them? I welcome you to.
So here's a question. Here's a question for the chat, since I got a couple people in there with some comments, right? At this point in the situation, let's say you're the photographer person. Do you just throw your equipment in the car and get out of there? Or do you stay around and gather the content? I, for one, would want to leave, okay? That's a want. But at the same time, I just feel like you got to keep filming this. You got to see where this is going to go. You know what I'm saying? Don't get yourself locked up over it. And he hit her with the bear spray, and it didn't even affect her. This is an animal right here. So we're filming an animal in the wild that happened to get behind the wheel of a vehicle, and this woman is crazy. I don't understand how she got.
You gotta be out of your mind. Try to hit me with her car and then gets out of her car and tries to assault. Michigan EKC 1371.
Hey, you know what? I can show you my driver's license.
Lady, I don't want anything from you. I want you to get away from me.
I want you to stop photographing people.
Not gonna happen.
I'm signing a disclaimer.
Not gonna happen.
Right.
Not gonna happen. Get in your car and go home.
She must not have many subscribers, because she said, you're trying to get subscribers. She was very upset about the subscriber thing. So she must have a channel called like Cooking with Patty or something like that, where she makes some of the most delicious morsels that you could ever have on the south side of South Carolina or wherever they're at. I can't see in the tags there. They got it blurred out. I'm sure I could figure it out if I got a couple minutes, but nonetheless.
You made a mess out of yourself. Before you make it worse, get in your car and go home.
I don't take orders from schmucks like you.
I don't take orders from people like you either. You made a mistake here today. Just go home, lick your wounds, and feel better about yourself. You made a mistake.
See,
What is it you're photographing, fella?
None of your business. You made a
He's egging her on now. See, like I said, at some point you got to allow these monsters to move on. Like if it, you know, sometimes you say you play dead, you got to like let them move on. And she keeps going. She keeps going, apparently.
I would get in my car and go home if I was you. If you call 911 and the cops get here, I'm having you arrested. I promise you. We have you on 3 cameras, and I have a witness. I don't want to press charges against you. I want you to go home and think about the stupidity you just pulled and don't do it again.
You know, let me say this. I respect that because that's why I do the Purge of the BS. I want people to see the stupidity, think about it, and not progress in life committing the same stupidity over and over and over again. It seems like such a simple recipe. So I understand what this guy's trying to say. He now has to do all this because you doing all this. Like, he wouldn't be doing all this if you wasn't doing all of what you're doing. And I'm sure what she feels is, well, I wouldn't be doing this if you weren't photographing people. Well, I hate to tell you, lady, but this is the good old United States of old America, where apparently he's in a public area and you're allowed to do that. And there's really not much that's going to happen other than when the police show up, they're going to tell you to take your old ass home and stop messing with people. So,
hi. I'm calling from the post office on Green Road in Ann Arbor. There's two guys here with cameras standing outside the door of the post office, filming people as they come out. And I stopped to ask them what they were taking photos of because I do not wish to have my likeness on somebody else's camera without knowing the reason for it.
You see how I don't know, I thought it was bear spray they sprayed on her, but there's no way that's the bear spray. Because she would be freaking out right now unless she is the animal that she has proven herself to be.
Correct. They're on federal property and they're being rather obnoxious and just shot me in the face with their whatever silly pepper spray kind of thing it was. So I would like the police to come. Pepper spray? Yes. I don't. So can you see or what you think of it? Because pepper spray will hurt your eyes. Let me ask him.
Yes, hi, I'm at the Ann Arbor post office on Green Road, and I just have a woman drive to run me over to the car and get out of the car and fall. And I would like the police
T-shirt on.
as well. I have this whole incident. I told the officers in the get here, so I'd like to file a report against this woman.
Okay.
She tried to assault me, yeah. She got out of her car, she was coming up to me.
Is she parking?
Sir, I'm going to speak to the police officer when he gets here then, okay? I don't know what your definition of assault is, sir, so I'd like to discuss it with the officer when he gets here. Nobody laid hands on.
Sounds like the police officer is being kind of a dick nugget to the guy that's calling, though, and he did almost get run over by this lady, so he wasn't lying, but the cop was like, well, what are you talking about, man? What's going on? Did somebody get assaulted? And, well, it depends on what you're talking about, but this lady tried to hit me with her car. So if that's your definition of assault, then yes, that's what happened. Anyway, so she seems to park the car over here. I don't
Nobody
know
laid hands on each other, no, sir.
Back or
nope.
What? Hold on, let's see what happens.
She's a white female, probably about 60 years old.
They're like, what?
Any weapons? I didn't see any, no. And I don't have any on me either. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Okay.
What are you for?
All right, so does she work at the post office? Jeez, there's 4 parts to this? Oh, my God. All right, so the police show up. They talk to her. Yeah, we're going to jump through some of this. This is too much. Oh, now she's feeling that pepper spray, though. See, at first, you see she was being a full-blown animal. She wasn't feeling the pepper spray. Now she's over there crying that she was assaulted because of the pepper spray thing. But you wouldn't have got pepper sprayed if you didn't jump in the pepper spray area. Like in somebody's, this behavior, guys, we need to stop it. It needs to cease immediately.
So the second officer went inside the post office for some reason to speak to the folks inside the post office, I'm assuming.
Okay.
It looks like she's going to speak to our witness over there.
Hold on, now I need perspective. How'd they get this far back?
I gotta get back to my car.
Oh no, he's walking back. I hope this is the post office security guard that I'm seeing right now. Please tell me this is not one of the responding officers. What they need to be responding to is their calorie count or cholesterol. This is
another police vehicle pulling in.
Man, now we got 3-4 cops dealing with this. So what's going to happen? Let's see what we got. Is somebody going to jail or not? Now you're utilizing.
She's claiming she's having problems breathing. Yeah, I would have been having problems breathing if I got ran over by a car. Yeah, because what was her intention in trying to run me over with the car? Just to give me a warning?
Now, here's the thing. Why haven't the police talked to the guy yet? Like, they're all around this lady, so they're only getting one side of the story. This normally, when they only get one side of the story, they come in a little hot. They might come in a little hot. I don't know. We're going to see. Because right now, they see an old lady got pepper sprayed by some
I think
guy.
she's in deep shit, and I'm sorry about that. I really am. I would have preferred that she just would have gone home.
Yeah, we're going to see.
All right, so here comes the Sarge.
Uh-oh. I have a bad feeling about this. I don't know. This is the last piece right here, apparently. Oh, no, there's 5. He going to jail. Something going to happen to this guy. There's no way there's 5 parts to this and nobody's going to jail. So, all right, so let's see what we got here. So then the sergeant...
Yes, sir.
For the paramedics, what was sprayed? I'm not going to get into the specifics just so they know what it is. Do you mind? Can I take a look?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to snap a picture of this so I can let them
It's just
know what
OC.
it is.
There's no mace or anything in it.
So he just sprayed her in the face with some green goo, basically. It wasn't intended to really mess her up. Why are you just carrying around random green goo? You expecting some old Karens to jump at you? Apparently it deters them a little bit. So Karen deterrent is what he was carrying, which I think is legal. That's why this guy's taking a picture of it. All right, let's see what we got here. So he takes a photo of it. And
No, I'm not injured.
Okay,
No.
were there any physical contact between the car and either of you?
She was... I don't remember when I leaned over and went like that if my hand touched her or not, but that would have been it.
Okay, but not like struck in the knees or anything?
No,
like
I didn't get hit in the knees, no.
right.
Okay, I'll be back to talk to you guys.
Yes, sir.
all right, so the Sarge is saying, all right, well, you didn't get hit by the car. All right, let's see what we got here. Uh-oh, they're back.
Yes, ma'am.
So obviously I got to take a report.
Yes, sure.
So
of course.
I have to kind of get your statement of what happened. So I'd rather than not in my face, so I can actually talk to you, but you can have it running. I would.
Yeah, I'm not
appreciate
going to put
Can
it
you
in front of me. We can look right at each other.
Sounds good. What's your name?
My name, first name is
Do you have
Jason.
ID?
I do.
Okay, that would be fantastic.
Where is it? There you are.
Okay.
All right.
What brings you to Ann Arbor?
We're just taking some video. This is my son and my wife.
Yeah, that's what the
And
witness
this
was
is the
saying.
first time I've ever been in Ann Arbor, and we just stopped by the post office. We have to get some stamps. My son's mailing some things out.
Gotcha.
And we were out here taking some pictures of the front of the post office, the sign. I don't know how much narrative you want me to give you, if you want me to just answer
No, let me just grab this
Sure.
info.
Yep.
514.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
We had never even gone in yet. I was out here in the parking lot. I was all the way at this edge by where your sergeant's vehicle is, the parking lot, and came pulling up to me and said, I want to know what you're taking video for. I don't authorize you. I mean, I'm ad-libbing here. It might not be the exact words.
Yeah, tell me slowly, because I got to write it off.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I
don't want
you
you.
know.
She was basically, the gist of it was, I don't want you taking my picture. You need permission to take pictures of people. You're on federal property. It's illegal for you to be taking photographs. And I just told her I was doing my thing and wanted to be left alone. So she puts her car in reverse, started backing up, and kind of like backed the rear end of her car up towards the building. Then put it in drive, hit the gas, and came right at me. I didn't.
So you're like,
I'm like here where your sergeant's
okay,
at, somewhere in this area.
So she reverses into those other
She
parking
reversed
spots.
like that way.
Okay.
And then came right at me. Just hit the gas. It came right at me. I mean, for lack of a better word, I shit my pants. I didn't even know what was going on.
What happened?
I thought she was going to run me over. I mean, she was literally.
All right, at this point, I got to take the votes. Do you think that the old school Karen goes to jail? That's the poll. That's the poll that we are going to do right now, before, because I haven't seen it, so I don't know, and so I want to make sure that I keep it fair. Will old school Karen go to jail? Let's see. Let's see what y'all say. I'll give y'all a minute in here. There's only a couple of y'all in here. It shouldn't take long. I just want to see what you're thinking. So I think that they need to take the old lady to jail. That's my initial thought here, but they're not going to take this old lady to jail. I don't see that coming. I just feel like she'll talk her way out of it. She did get sprayed in the face with some green splooge or whatever it was, and, we'll see.
Inches away from me.
We'll see.
I was absolutely in shock. I never saw that coming.
Then what happened?
Then she just kept inching towards me, so I moved to the side of the car. And she got out of the car, went to get out of the car, went back into the car, went under the seat for something. I don't know what she was looking for, what she was doing. My son now, after the fact, said he thinks she may have dropped her cell phone, but I couldn't see that from my angle, so I didn't know what she was doing.
So you didn't know if she was getting a weapon or anything?
I had no idea. The thought crossed my mind, and she got out of the car and started coming toward me. I said, "Ma'am, please stop approaching me, back away from me." And I'm trying to back up with this camera.
All right. I mean, he's saying the story. All right. So let's see what we got here. Oh, my God. Please tell me that this woman goes to jail.
The grassy median area, out of the post office.
All right, so he told his story. The lady goes back. I mean, he had it on camera. Okay. Man, I feel like this lady did not go to jail.
Do anything, just telling you?
Okay.
Because then if she calls later and be like,
I got
then
you.
we've
You're
only
right.
got one side of the story.
Yes, sir.
And if we only get one side of the
That's
story,
not
it's
good
going
for
to be a
me.
very lopsided thing.
Yes, sir. Well, I was, because if we had a mutual, if she had said to me, you know what, I did make a mistake, I'm sorry, and I would have said, well, I'm sorry, then it's a mutual thing. Why waste your resources? Why do all that?
Okay.
So if we were able to handle it on our own, like grown adults, that's what I was looking for. If she wanted to call the police, that's up to her. But then once the police are involved, now I have to tell you the whole story of what happened, and I have to file a report, and I have to press charges, is what I'm interested in.
So my advice is if you spray somebody, at least call and tell us, like, hey, this is what happened. She doesn't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. Just telling you.
Okay.
Because then if she calls later and be like,
I got
then
you.
we've
You're
only
right.
got one side of the story.
Yes, sir.
And if we only get one side of the
That's
story,
not
it's
good
going to
for
be a
me.
very lopsided thing.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of stuff can happen that shouldn't. So.
Well, I learned something here today for sure.
All right, Officer Singer, I'm sure he'll give you the touch up on to do with the card, but.
All right, I don't know what he learned that day. What, to look out for Karen? That should be a known fact in good old America. I thought the lady was going to go to jail. That was my whole thing. I really
Just try to run people over with her car.
Contacting our detective bureau to follow up with that.
She's not going to jail. I told you. I could feel the energy when the lady was taking the report. She was taking the report as if she wanted to prove him wrong while she was taking the report. And you can feel that energy when they do that. They don't want to deal with it, so they're taking the report a certain way, and then when they ask you certain follow-up questions, it's like to diminish what your experience was in the situation. And they do that.
Got some time to actually get the report up there and take a look at it. Give them a call. Let them know, like, hey, I'm the victim from this case. I want to pursue the case.
Well, I would actually, I mean, if that's the case, at this point, what I'd like to do then is do a private person's arrest, and I want her charged. She tried to hit me with her car.
Okay.
That's not, that's, if she had just yelled at me, if she had pushed me, I'm a big boy, I can handle it. She tried to run me over with her car, and you watched it on the video.
Okay. Well, we're going to follow through on our side, and it's going to go to the prosecutor for review. The prosecutor finally makes the determination on charges.
But
See, right there. That I try to give them. I'm not even going to say the benefit of the doubt. I just try to be fair. But right there, I was feeling it coming, and I smell bullshit. You already know. So at this point, it's going to be some goofy stuff. He's going to tell you can't do nothing about it. He's going to tell you got to push on. They're not going to do nothing. So let me also let you know, if you do get approached by a Karen like this and the situation happens, they're not going to help you out at all, is what they just said. Unless you would have actually gotten hit by the car. The fact that they tried to hit you with the car ain't good enough. It's like if a person shoots at you, they tried to shoot at you, but they didn't hit you. Isn't that an attempt? Like attempted murder or something like that? All right.
I'm just saying, I would like to file a private person's arrest complaint.
Okay.
I definitely want to follow through with that here while I'm here. I don't live here.
Yeah.
So the officer was asking me if I'm going to be able to show up in court. If I can't go to court, I'll hire an attorney to show up in court.
Okay.
But she needs to learn that she can't just try to run people over with her car.
Contacting our detective bureau to follow up with them, and they'll be able to tell you what occurred in terms of court dates, things like that.
Yeah, but that's not me filing a complaint. I want to file citizen's arrest.
You're filing a complaint with us. We're generating the crime report.
Okay. No. But is that a citizen's arrest?
No, a citizen's arrest would be you physically taking custody of somebody.
No, that's not what that is. Citizen's arrest is I tell you I want her arrested, so you arrest her on my word that I'm telling you I want her arrested. And you're not the one arresting her, I am, and you're just going through the motions and doing it because you're the police officer.
We're generating a criminal report to file to the prosecutor's office for a review by the prosecutor to determine charges and then issue a warrant for her to be sent into court on.
What? Okay.
So,
but I don't see myself swearing out a complaint against her.
That's not the
Do
Michigan
you have
operation.
that's what I was going to ask you.
So in South Dakota, do you, as the victim, you swear out the warrant?
You can do a private person's or a PPA.
Okay. Yeah, so in Michigan, typically the police generate the report and the police swear to the warrant.
So you don't do a private person's arrest here in Michigan?
Very rarely. There is a statute regarding private arrests.
Well, that's what I'd like to
In
do.
all my time as a police officer, I've never seen it used. The prosecutor here doesn't endorse or anything like that. But we are generating a report to send to the prosecutor to swear out.
Because I'm not trying to make something more serious than it is, but she tried to run me over with her car.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a felony. That's serious.
So we're writing up, it's a felonious assault with a dangerous weapon. It's the statute in Michigan. That's being written up. Getting sent to our detectives, who will be the ones to follow up. But that's what I'm trying to get to. The detectives are
No, I appreciate it. And I'm just trying to understand because I'm not from Michigan.
Touch base with the detectives. They'll be able to tell you where it's at, what the next steps are, if you need to appear in person, what the prosecutor... the prosecutor will work with you if you don't want to appear in person, if they want to offer something to a lower charge just to get it pled out and taken care of. But the detectives are the next point of contact.
I got you. Okay, and I appreciate you explaining that to me because I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Very cool.
Any questions?
No.
Any questions?
Sorry it had to happen. Well,
hey, unfortunately, every day can't be great.
You know how I try to look at things, and I always try to teach my son. I always try to get myself, even at 52 years old, I try to learn something from all these things. And what my hopes are, seeing the level of aggression that she exhibited, and trying to run me over with her car, I'm hoping I may have saved her from something more serious one day.
Yeah.
And maybe we all learn
like you said, a
lesson
learning
from
point
it.
all around.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking there, bro. Okay. All right, 6 parts. Let me see what the poll said. Maybe I asked the question incorrectly. I feel like I asked the question incorrectly. Oh, no. Well, I mean, those who did answer the poll all said that old school Karen was going to go to jail for that. And well, at least not in this video, old school Karen did not go to jail. What they said is they were going to send a report, and then if the state wanted to press charges after the fact, that's what they would do. That's pretty much what he said. So she didn't go to jail that day, but they could put a, an appearance warrant or something out on her later, which I'm just telling you from how at the energy in this video, they're not going to press no charges on this lady. Might even know this woman. I feel like one of them might have known the lady. They were just too damn nice. That's all I'm saying. And if I tried to run somebody over with a car, they would come in a little hot. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Sorry. But yeah. So these officers, they didn't do their job. Because I feel like if you don't press charges, you don't lock this lady up, like the guy said, she is definitely on a path to complete the same action that may be deadly to somebody else. So I'm through with these guys. All right. Next story. Let's go. What's next? All right, so we got that. Oh, that was the Karen was first and the second was the kids. Okay. All right. How many pieces is this? Jesus. Oh, all this content, man. It's crazy. And I guess you got to take things in their full girth. Pause. But you got to take it all in. And if I just give you a 30-second clip, to me, it's disingenuous. Sometimes when you see things go viral, it's because it's been chopped a certain way and context is missing. So that's why I got to show you what I can. Now, at certain points, I can skip through because I get the point of what's going on. And all right, now we can skip through to see where this leads, right? But in this one, it appears that a young person got caught in school with a THC vape pen. And I guess the school called the police, and the parent was wilding out on the police. I don't know any other way to say it. Let's take a look at it, though. All right, this says part 2. It's part 1. All right, so let's start with part 1 here. This is the officer coming down the hall, looks like. Let's get this up on the big screen. Well, the main screen here.
You could be arrested right now. We decided not to.
What?
Possession of drug paraphernalia.
What's wrong?
Possession of drug paraphernalia. Not drugs. Not drugs. Not drugs. Possession of drug paraphernalia. You hear him? He came in a little too hot. I keep telling you, you got to not come in so hot. This is ridiculous. You said paraphernalia. Ugh. This guy.
You could be arrested right now. We decided not to.
What?
Possession of drug paraphernalia.
What drugs?
Arrestable.
What drugs? Nicotine?
In April 2024.
All right, now, okay, well, from the first shot, I'm sorry to pause it, but the caption says she got caught with a THC pen at school. But right now, all he said was paraphernalia, and the other guy said tobacco. And there are vape pens that are not THC vapes, they're just vapes. And that may be what this person had. I don't know, but I hate a wrong caption. Unless I need some proof. We'll see what's up. Let's go.
A bustling high school in Punta Gorda, Florida, became the center of a high-stakes drama that had everyone talking. Law enforcement officials were summoned to the scene after a bus driver raised the alarm about a student caught red-handed using a THC vape pen during the ride to school. The situation escalated as officers arrived just in time to witness the intensity unfold between the student, her parents, and school administrators at the school's exit. Tension hung in the air as the officer attempted to detain the student's father, making it a day that would not be forgotten anytime soon.
I just got the FU for a trespass warning and an arrest.
Well, he is definitely coming in a little hot.
You could be arrested right now. We decided not to.
What?
Possession of drug paraphernalia.
What drugs?
Arrestable.
What drugs? Nicotine? Nicotine?
THC.
Okay, well then shut the f up and arrest her. Do it! No. No. If you can arrest her legally, do
Calm
it!
down. Right there.
I'm trying to calm down. I'm trying to leave. You f***ing stop me!
Okay, that was part one. My son is calling here. I'm gonna have to call you back, son. But that was part one there. Hang on a second. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. I'm just on the internet live right now. But, you know, I love my son, and I see my son call it, so I had to pick up real quick. But now you're part of tonight's podcast, so.
Well, hello, Purge of the BS.
All right. Well, you're just on the mic here. You're obviously not on the screen. But.
Oh, well, okay.
But I'll hit you back.
Call me back when you're done. Yeah.
I will. You need to tune in. If you was tuned in, you would know I was live right now. You wouldn't have called me.
I'll explain it when I call you later.
It's all good. We'll talk later, man. I love you.
Working, yeah.
All right. Talk to you soon. All right, bye.
All right.
Sorry about that. That's my son, my oldest son. So, anyway, part one. Basically, they got called because the girl had a vape that at this point, I don't know how they know that it's THC in it if they didn't do a test there at the scene. But he didn't come in there and say drug possession. He said marijuana or drug paraphernalia, which could be a pipe. It could be a cigar that's not split, a wrap. Those are all considered drug paraphernalia. So what are we talking about here? So let's go to part two, because everybody's coming in hot on these so far. The dad came in a little too hot, but that's because this dude was running down the hallway at him over that. And they didn't have his child in cuffs. He's leaving the building. You need to come and calm it down. Why are you running down here with the finger pointing? I don't know. Came in a little hot. That's all I'm saying.
You're being trespassed.
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him.
Let me see some information.
Get off of me!
I need to see some information.
You don't need to see shit from me!
You're being trespassed. Hey, what happened?
One in there. Her husband.
Hey, stay with her. Her husband's fighting.
Shut up. Yeah, buddy. Get your arm out.
All right. See? You see how quickly that escalated, guys? You see how quickly it escalated. And blame is on all sides in this. But I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. I'm going to have to say it. The officer came in a little hot. The dad fired back because that was his child. And the rest was history. It went from 0 to 100. I seen the whole clip. I'm watching the whole clip. It starts with the guy coming in. He comes running down because they decided they weren't going to arrest the child. So what that means is the police were already there, told the kid, as long as your parents come down and get you, whatever, or get your parent to come down here and get you, then we'll be fine, right? That's what they said. Why the hell did that go on? That's weird. Anyway, my monitor's going out. See, this weird stuff going on around here because I'm talking. But nonetheless, the officer comes in. because I guess the father is arriving to get the child. The father and mother arrived to get the child. That's good. The parents showed up. They're a unified group. That's also a positive. And they're leaving with this child, but I think they went the wrong way. They went a different way than what way they was trying to go, or what they wanted, where they wanted them to go. Or, let me say this, because we didn't see this, the father may have been arguing with the people in the office, and that's why the officer had to come back in. And he was like, all right, I'm done. The officer's here. Let me walk on out of here. So either way, at the point in which the officer came down the hallway, they were leaving the building, okay? But within 10 seconds, they went from that argument in this door.
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him.
Let me see some information. I need to see some information.
I need some information.
You're being trespassed. Hey, what happened?
Fighting one in there.
Doing trespass.
Hey, stay with her. Her husband's fighting.
Shut up. Yeah, buddy. Get your arm out.
Okay, now he's being weird.
You knock it off.
Or what? You're gonna smash my...
I'm not gonna smash nothing. You're acting like a child.
You chased me down the hallway.
I didn't chase you.
Child.
Okay. Your legs in? Leave it to the point. Whatever you stand for now. You breathing all right? Check your physical health now.
You give a now? Really? Now you give a You can still look for it. I thought I had it on me somewhere. I'm almost positive, dude. I swear to God, I'm not lying to you.
I'll tell you what, though. Oh, wait a second. Oh, he was just...
I'm trying to help him.
What the
See, that's what I mean by coming in a little hot. That guy just got there, get to grabbing somebody. Like, you don't even know what's going on. Did y'all see that? The last dude that comes running in at the end there, he immediately starts doing stuff. This guy, right here in the back. You see him?
I'm trying to help him.
What the ID? He's been compliant right now.
Sad.
I don't know if it fell out or what. I used it to show you guys to get in here.
Let's just, somebody might have it.
We got a second part?
Yeah, the mom's causing a ruckus too.
She's outside with Cat.
All right, so the mom is apparently outside causing a ruckus. That's it, man. People just keep coming in a little too damn hot. That's all it is, man. You got to calm down. When you enter a scene, you got to enter a scene objectively. This guy keeps coming in hot. People keep coming. That's what it is. I'm realizing it because I be getting all this content. You just got to calm down a little bit sometimes. When you enter the scene, pause. But when you enter, you got to just, these guys, I don't know where this is at, but I don't like it. Like I said, the father didn't need to be all jumping out there cussing, but he wasn't swinging on the police or like spitting on them or threatening them or nothing. So he didn't necessarily need to get all of that. But this other dude came in with no information. He just think they in there fighting or something, and he comes immediately in grabbing arms when there's already 3 other officers there. Somebody get your boy. Came in there too hot.
I'm gonna go out with the mom. Amber. Mom's out here too. Apparently she's a problem.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Standing there when Billy grabbed her dad. The daughter started swinging on Billy when he was winking.
Which one's the daughter?
She's over by the car.
Okay.
Oh, the daughter going to jail. Uh-oh, here we go.
Right now. Stay right over there. We're coming to talk to you next. He's inside.
All right, right here, y'all got to be careful. This is a minor. This is a child from the school that you're about to encounter. I don't know if her mother's still standing around her, but just, you got to...
Who do you think he's inside with?
Putting on gloves, they ready to rumble. Wow! See what I'm saying?
Stop! Stop!
You can see that the garbage can had a bag liner and
And now the mother, everybody goes to jail in this one. Mama going to jail now. Look, mama ain't gonna stand by while her daughter and husband get locked up. No, we all going to jail tonight. All right, this daughter needs to shut up. You don't have no real power, ma'am. Individually, you don't. I don't know who your dad is or who you think he is or who you think anybody is, but you apparently did punch an officer. I heard about that. I didn't see it on the camera. Can't believe everything you hear. So unless they have evidence of that on another camera, they're going to have to let that go, unfortunately. But she probably did punch a cop. She seems like she gets her aggressiveness from her dad, okay? Or maybe both parents, because at this point, mom's about to get locked up, too. All right, so we got the daughter.
What are you arresting me for? What are you arresting me for? You can see, you can hear me talking. Watch your mouth. What are you arresting me for? You can't arrest a minor without telling him what are you arresting him for. What are you arresting me for? Right now you're being detained because you're being under investigation. Got it? For what? You're being under arrested for harassment. Shut your mouth. All right.
See? You see what I'm saying, right? I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But there's this behavior, there's an energy. It's called escalation energy. That's what it is. They exhibit escalation energy. And it escalates the situation. First of all, this is a minor you're dealing with. So don't say nothing to them till you talk to their parents. That's what you need to do. You got her in the cuffs. No more conversation needs to be had right now. She can yell and scream all she wants. Go get her parents and let's have that conversation, because you're about to get yourself fired over talking crap to some little girl.
Right.
For allegedly swinging on a police officer.
Uh-oh. There you go. He's talking.
I'm trying to get him off.
It's not your place.
It's my dad.
Okay. And now you're going to jail.
Guess what? Can't even admit none of that. They never read her Miranda rights. None of that shit she just said about confessing to what happened is admissible in court. Sorry. You had a confession if you would have read her Miranda before you put her in those cuffs. And I don't remember hearing no Miranda rights being read. They ran up on her, they locked her up, and that's what we saw. Okay, all right, let's see what happens to, I guess the mom is next. Jeez, there's 5 parts to this one too? Oh my gosh, how long are these encounters, officers? Some of this stuff should be wrapped up in 5 minutes or less, like a fast food joint. Crime, commitment, commissioner, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. Let's see what part 4 is about. So at this point, the daughter's locked up.
Shut your mouth.
Not a police officer.
She confesses
I'm trying to get him off.
right
It's not your
there.
place.
It's my dad.
See?
Okay.
Right there.
And now you're going to jail.
If you want to say that you care, will you adjust my left cuff?
Absolutely. Okay. I don't know where your ID is.
Okay, well, I apologize. I did have it on me.
Whole family.
Alan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's work with that. All right, listen, make it first. We're going to get the mom.
Ralph.
We're going to adjust your left cuff. Do not, please. Do not do anything stupid. Could you do me a favor, Officer Farley?
Yeah.
Adjust the left cuff.
What's your name? Ralph.
Yo, these guys are like, they never locked nobody up before. Like, that's how they're acting.
They put her in handcuffs, that girl.
All right, so they loosen up the cuffs.
Why didn't you just cooperate?
Why is it that I should have to just do whatever you say just because you said it? I was.
All right, well, first of all, hold on. I'm going to let him finish, because he could just say, well, I was leaving the building because they asked me to leave. And so that's what was going on.
I wasn't committing any crimes. I was trying to leave this building with my daughter so that this wouldn't happen. This wouldn't happen. That's why I wanted to leave the building. That's all I wanted to do.
You couldn't leave the building.
Why can't I leave the building?
Because she was under arrest.
No, she wasn't. See, now you lying. Now you lying. She wasn't under arrest. You came in there, she wasn't in no cuffs. He said we should arrest you, but we're not, and we decided not to. See, now you lying. See,
I've arrested her.
Annoying,
but yet
man.
I'm in handcuffs.
You interfered.
Okay.
No, actually, your daughter's in handcuffs too, bro. Just let you know.
We'll agree to disagree. Transport.
Okay. Hi, here. We're walking on this way.
Lying. I don't like that.
May I ask what's going to happen with my daughter?
Huh?
May I ask what's happening with my daughter?
Yeah,
I was trying to leave with her.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I got no idea. Alright, then this way.
All right, so we got that.
Dad, you come here for my daughter.
He gets locked up.
Look about a bed to come here for my daughter. I don't have anything.
I got you. So that's your name, then what's your date of birth?
Drop her off. Just let her out.
All right, so Dad went to jail.
From what it sounds like, it's possibly resisting or like obstruction, something like that. But again, I'm just a guy. It possibly.
He don't even know why he's putting him in the car at this point. That's what he said. Well, what are my charges? And he's like, look, I don't even know, bro. Like, I'm just the guy that got to take you down to the jail. I get off at 6. You know what I'm saying? He knows nothing about what's even going on. Totally uninformed.
That's what I'm being arrested for.
I got no idea. He told me. From what it sounds like, it's possibly resisting or like obstruction, something like that. But again, I'm just.
We'll figure it out later. We'll come up with a charge for you. Don't worry about it. That's what he's saying. He's like, look, I don't know what it is, but we got you. You're gonna get charged with something.
Your last name?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're under arrest.
I can see that.
We will go ahead and,
Hold on a second.
Put it over here. Don't tell him what to do. Can you please put it over here? I'm asking nicely.
Hold on, put it in the truck. Your last name?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're under arrest.
I can see that.
We will go ahead and, put you in the car. Looks like it might be that area over here.
Gotcha.
Ocean, no talking, and I mean it no matter what.
Yeah, I heard you, bro. Yes, I did. I'm not stupid. Go ahead and spread your feet for me. Got anything on your person, in your person?
No.
Because when you get to county, they're going to search you.
I know. Chances no.
They'll put you through a barter scanner. I just have to tell you, okay? Got any pockets on you? I'm coming across your front, all right? Do you have anything in your bra? Come on.
All right.
I got to him about right there where Dave is. I said, hey, where you guys going? I said, I'm in the middle of a criminal investigation with her. Your daughter. For what? Arrest her now, motherfucker.
He's just cussing us all
I said, where you guys going? I said, I'm in the middle of a criminal investigation.
Hold on, I'm trying to hear. Does he lie again about it? We heard the camera. I heard what he said when he came down that hallway in the first place. I heard it. So you're not going to just tell me you didn't say that we weren't going to arrest you. And we decided that's not what we were going to do. So let's see. Let's see. I feel like he about to lie about it.
And then I said, listen, what the hell was, what was happening? I got to him about right there where Dave is. I said, hey, where you guys going? I said, I'm in the middle of a criminal investigation
No, you
with her.
didn't. You didn't say anything about that.
What? Arrest her now, motherfucker.
He's just cussing. He's cussed us all
I said,
I'm lying.
gotta calm down. This is a school system. I said, I need to, both of you will be trespassed from the school. I need information on both of you. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, motherfucker. And I said, wait, sir. And then that was it. Once I went like,
John, can you go down to that gate and all that? Okay. Well, I pushed her away and had her down the hallway, and she came back through again. So I mean,
But the girl was, like I said, he wasn't supposed to be fighting with the police. He wasn't supposed to be fighting with the police. But the officer did say that he was going to let the girl go, and they had decided they weren't arresting her. So if that man was leaving the building, then that should have been, he should have just escorted them out of the building. But he immediately came down there, and when the guy said something back to him, he was like, all right, now you're trespassing. Now I'm gonna trespass you. Even though he knew that he was leaving. So like I said, it's disingenuous. I'm pretty sure the officer's not gonna face no charges for it or nothing like that. And maybe the guy got off, but
I don't know if she got landed a punch or
even this guy from the school, he ain't saying that.
mom and daughter going to jail. We'll trespass mom and dad.
Because of all of this, it's dangerous. Well,
Ma'am?
you want to know what?
You are officially trespassed from Charlotte High for
Thank
1
you.
year. If you return for any reason, you are going to be under arrest.
Thank you.
You understand that?
Thank you.
Would you like to wait off campus for your trespass?
For what trespass? You
I'm going to issue you a paper trespass. Would you like to wait off
Is
campus?
that how that works?
Would you like to wait? Yeah, we want you off campus.
Okay.
So, would you like to wait off campus, or would you like to just go ahead and go with a verbal trespass?
A verbal is fine. I'm not
What's that?
stupid.
I didn't say you were stupid. I'm asking you a simple question. You haven't answered it yet. Would you like to leave?
Escalation energy, man. Problematic. They're both being escalatory at this point, but like I said, I'm over it because I know what the officer said in the beginning. The girl was apparently on using that vape on the bus on the way there. So now they're trespassed from the school for a year. Where's the girl going to go to school at? Hate to say it, but kids get caught with vapes all the time in high school and stuff like that. And they don't ban everybody for a whole year over it. They confiscate it, whatever they do. But apparently in this small town, they're a little more strict about that kind of stuff. And they're willing to sacrifice the kid's whole education and their parents having to find the kid a whole new school over a vape pen that was on the bus on the way to school. That, to me, is some bullshit. So I'm through with these guys. Yeah, I don't see why. I don't see that's too much. All right. God, these are long. Okay, we got that. We got this. We did that. We did that. We did that. Okay. All right, cool. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. Jeez, this is exhausting. Look, purging the bullshit sometimes, because you realize that these people do exist. Like, these are real people doing these things, and they're not watching the show right now. It's only my hope. It's my hope that somebody who might have been thinking of crashing out or doing some crash out stuff may happen to stop by this show and they'll get themselves together. It's just my hope. Wishful thinking, I guess. But anyway, next clip was it just says nuclear. CNN went nuclear. Okay, that was the header that they sent me. So, in looking at it, it looks like there was an argument on CNN this week regarding from Shermichael and Anna Navarro. I don't know if you know who those people are, but I'm going to bring them over to the screen. And as I do, I want you to be reminded, Purge the BS is sponsored by Freeman Services, www.freemansvcs.org. The right connections being made today. Make sure you check out the website, check out the merch. Make sure you like and subscribe if you are here on the channel. And thank you very much for everybody who's new in there. Scott Norris, thanks for stopping in. Pepsi Warren stopping in. IMZ stopping in. Everybody else, Purple Groovy was in here as well. So nonetheless, let me get to the CNN crash out situation here. So I'm not a big fan of Shermichael. He's the guy in the back here. All right, y'all are missing the people. So let me need to adjust the screen a little bit. See if I can get y'all a better perspective. That'll work. We'll do that. All right. Purple Groovy's still in here. Okay, well, that's always a good thing. So Purple Groovy, this gong is for you. All right. So nonetheless, they apparently get into this argument over Anna Navarro saying something about slaves being illegal immigrants, or at least that's what the internet is saying. We're going to dissect it because, as happens sometimes, it could turn out to be some BS. So that's why it's here. All right, let's see what we got.
Move on, because this is not a conversation about the tattoos. One of the other things that happened this week is that a California judge said that you can't just scoop people up and deport them without a warrant. And in that case, basically the judge is saying, you're basically taking anybody who's in a particular area. If they don't want to talk to you, you're taking them, detaining them, and assuming that they are deportable, and that you can't really do that anymore.
What the judge is saying is nothing radical. This is basically comports with existing law. It comports with decades of decisions around this matter, which in like pure layman's basic terms means that ICE agents cannot go after people, arrest them and detain them solely on the basis of being brown, having brown skin and being working class. And what was so interesting about this case for me is that the
Hold on, they're going after them solely on the basis of having brown skin and being working class? I don't know. That sounds weird to me. I thought the issue was happening in court systems with people not being released to ICE in criminal situations, and they end up coming back to find them later. I did hear about that, but I don't think they're just targeting them just because you're brown. That would be crazy. You'd have to arrest and lock up way too many people if that's the only criteria that you have to meet. So that sounds disingenuous to me. We're already getting started on it. See, escalation.
Border Patrol did not contest any of the allegations.
They actually claimed that they changed their guidelines.
Their response was just that they were going to do better training. And this issue is right in line with the Mr. Abrego Garcia case. It's a question of due process. Whatever we feel about Mr. Abrego Garcia, it's honestly irrelevant. It's a question for the immigration judge.
On Mr. Garcia, we keep saying that there's no evidence that this guy belonged to a gang.
No evidence in court filings.
That's not true.
No, that is true.
Michael,
that is true.
No. Hold on. We always have to play this game of interrupting people when they're talking.
But you're
saying,
what's
the point of me being on the show if I can never finish my freaking point?
Okay,
this is getting really annoying, Abby.
Hold on.
Everyone else has made their statements. I have yet to say anything.
Hold on a second, okay?
I mean, Jesus.
Hold on a second.
Because I want to say something.
Is Shamichael going to have to smack a bitch? Then he had a little Wayne Brady on Chappelle energy that came out over there. He said, man, if I can't talk, what's the point of me being here? Jesus. Watch him. Shamichael almost lost character. He's normally very, he tries to be very astute and he speaks very well. I don't have a problem with him in that regard. I think he does well as far as presenting himself. But he was about to break character. I saw it.
I have a point of view to make here as well.
Hang on just one second. Share, Michael. Let
me ask you. God damn it.
The question is, has the government presented evidence in court that Abrego Garcia is a member of MS-13?
And my response,
and the answer is no, that has not happened in court. But it doesn't mean that they have not made those claims publicly. It doesn't mean that those claims are not in police reports.
In 2019,
it doesn't mean that they're not in police reports. They're just not statements that were made in
2019, the immigration judge at the time believed the Prince George's County gang unit and the evidence that they presented before that judge at the time that Mr. Garcia did indeed belong to a gang. This is not my opinion. People can Google this crap. They can Google this. CBS reported on this. If a judge believed it in 2019, is it now all of a sudden not true?
The judge granted him a withholding of removal.
No, I acknowledge that fact.
Which is a different issue. Hold on.
But the point remains that a judge found the evidence to be credible that Mr. Garcia did indeed belong to a gang. So now all of a sudden we're just not going to believe judges?
The judge
we can't have it both ways.
I don't want to go too far down this road.
Let's catch that. There was two pieces there in case you missed it. So the guy was found to have some gang ties, which could be a family member that you might be disconnected from, but they know you. You know what I'm saying? It could be that. They also said that he was given a withholding order, meaning he didn't have to be deported right then when that was going on. So, okay, that's a good point to be made. I didn't know that. So, all right, like I said, we're dissecting it. I see what people are saying.
My only point is that the government has
not
not presented, beyond the police report, they've not actually presented the evidence to prove that he belonged to this gang.
So police reports not considered evidence before a court of law? Do judges not consider police reports? What are we saying here?
Sure, Michael, what was the original?
I'll stop him again. I'm sorry to keep pausing. A police report is only relevant if the officer is present in court. If not, it's considered hearsay and is inadmissible, just in case anybody wanted to know. So a police report in and of itself, no, is not utilized in court. So they're both right. You see what I'm saying? But everybody's coming in a little hot, so they're not even understanding it. We're kind of just saying the same thing in different ways. And there are some missing pieces in this Garcia case. That guy, the Maryland guy. But, I mean, what are we willing to just stake our claim on these missing pieces? Really? I don't know.
It absolutely is relevant to the argument from the administration, which is that Mr. Garcia belonged to a gang as one of the reasons of deporting him out of the country. But you guys are saying there's no truth, there's no facts. That's not true.
The Constitution is very clear. It does not say citizens. It says no person should be deprived of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness without due process. It doesn't matter what he's done in his past. The Boston bomber. Wait a minute.
The Boston
bomber had due process.
Yeah, that's due process.
That's what this is about. I gave you time. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is a president who continues to twist the Constitution to adapt to whatever his vision is, to the point of the 2-year-old who was deported without due process, an American citizen. His father did not want him to go, and the only access he had to his daughter was listening to his daughter cry in the background in a 1-minute call. That 4-year-old did not get access to a doctor, despite the fact of having stage 4 cancer, did not have his medication with him.
The look on this guy, this is Scott Jennings. He looks like you ever seen somebody when they play spades? And that they got the big joker, and you know that they need that one more book, and they know that there's no way they're not going to get it, that's the face he's got right now. He's got the big joker in his pocket. I don't know what the big joker is, but this look on his face, it's almost sinister to a degree. So let's see what he comes with.
When he was deported, an American citizen to Honduras, this is what this president is doing. He is twisting the definition of the Constitution, and people like you are disparaging character to try to justify the disparaging.
I'm not disparaging character. Does matter.
Did we have the process?
But the idea that Mr. Garcia's past doesn't matter is ludicrous.
We live
in a sovereign nation, and this idea that people can just come into our country and do whatever the heck they want to do is absurd to me. And if Democrats want to die on this hill, I promise you'll regret it politically. So go right ahead. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. We don't want people breaking our laws coming into our country. That is a fact.
Let Scott have a word, and then we'll move on.
It seems to me that the political analysis of this, though, is, and a lot of average people are looking at it this way. Why is it that we can let 20 million people into the country just walk across, whatever, and there's no real process for them to do that, but then we have to individually pick out every single person and go through years upon years upon years of paperwork and this and that and the other, and all we're trying to do is send them back to where they came from because they came here illegally in the first place. 20 million in with no process. How do you get 20 million out with years and years of people fighting every single case? You can cherry pick any case you want. But the reality is the crisis.
That was the big joker. He just said, like, well, how if you don't do it fast, how you going to do it? And that's a good point. So, to a degree, like I said, this guy apparently had history. We're not talking about people with no history. This Abrego Garcia guy, he had a history. So because of that history, that's why they could find him. And that's why they decided he had to go. Gotta go. That's all I'm saying. So I get it. It's a really interesting point to be made. Like, what do you expect? If 20,000 people came over with no process to get in, why should the 20,000 court cases have to happen to get them out? Maybe they start doing it like a class action lawsuit in the other direction. They just gather a bunch of people up. You know how sometimes you go to court with a bunch of people, everybody got the same charge, and that's just how we deal with it. We just bunch them and just do it that way. Because there's no way you're going to get 20,000 freaking court cases done. That's an impossible feat. So to even consider that is also disingenuous. That's what I'm saying. We got to be honest about it. If you're asking for that, you got to understand what you're asking for. And that's not possible. So you can't die on that hill because it's not possible. You see what I'm saying? You want people to vote for something that's impossible to do anyway. And the amount of resources it would take to do so would be a waste of spending. I hate to say it. So let's finish up. I don't see it. It hasn't gone nuclear yet. I guess this is nuclear for CNN. You know, it's a lot of crosstalk and people are upset. And sure, Michael is very upset with his blue suit on.
That put Donald Trump in the White House was caused over years and years and years of neglect and letting people walk into here without any process at all. And now you're trying to gum up the works to keep them here.
A lot of them came in with parole. A lot of them came in.
CNN polling shows 54% of Americans want Mr.
November polling
Garcia
showed Donald Trump won the election.
That's CNN polling.
We are a sovereign nation, and you cannot just come into our country illegally whenever the heck you want, because we can't do it to any other country on the face of this earth.
Asylum is a legal right.
If you come in illegally, you have to leave. Americans are tired of that. We do not have unlimited resources.
You know who was here illegally with a deportation order? Marco Rubio's grandfather.
All right,
we're not talking about Marco Rubio.
Oh, now we're not? Now that's not relevant?
It's not
relevant. No, I'm talking about Marco Rubio because Marco Rubio used to be an advocate for TPS for Venezuelans, and Marco Rubio used to be an advocate for Nicaraguans and Cubans. No, I know you're not.
If you come to this country illegally, you are going home. Simple as that. We do not have unlimited resources.
I think a lot of Americans.
There's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
They're not the same as black people who were brought here against our will.
That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah, gotta go. That's it. Shit.
Look and act indignant. That's exactly what I just said.
Let me just share Michael.
Other than the black
Anna and share Michael.
There are a lot of people from
Share Michael. I think you actually misheard what she. I think you misheard what she said.
Hold on a second. I gotta bring it back.
She said.
Sorry, it got crazy over here. It got crazy. I gotta bring it back. I'm sorry. So she starts talking about Marco Rubio and that Marco Rubio used to be for temporary protected status and all that kind of stuff. And he probably was. But, you know, if you got too many people, you got to plug the hole first. Pause. You got to stop the leak in order to repair the pipes. Okay? You got to stop the leak. So if there's a leak going on, we got to stop the leak. And you can't expect them to, and I thank you, Paul Warner, for jumping in the chat. And I was using 20,000 as just a number that wasn't even that much. And even that sounded astronomical. But it really is 20 million. So if 20 million, you got to do 20 million court cases. I'm a citizen. You know how long it takes for me to get a court case done? It's like a year and some change. Just for like whatever court. I could go for a defamation suit. At minimum, you're looking at eight months to a year for anything. You see what I'm saying? Except maybe like a contempt case. You can get a contempt of court. If there's a court order for something and somebody breaks it, you can get those pretty quick. But everything else, you got to wait. If you've done a crime, you will sit in jail for like a whole year before you get to court. So we don't have time for 20 million of those processes. I'm sorry. That's just, I hate to be that guy. But let's just be real here. That's not how it started, so you can't use that method on the way out. It was a wide open door coming in. You can't have a security door on the way out. You got to open the door back and just send the flow back in the other direction. You see how they do the wormholes and the black holes in movies? You got to send it all back in the same direction. I'm sorry. Because I don't want to keep having this argument for the next however many years when certain people are going through this process. If you got a lot going on like that dude did, I don't want to hear about you. Now, if you were just, working and taking care of your family and you did all your processes and somehow there's a clerical mistake and you get deported, okay, I feel for you on something like that. But I haven't really heard that. I seem to be finding that to a degree it's kind of justified. And the reason why they won't send the guy back is because he's still a citizen of another country. So no, they don't have to send him back because he's from there. So why would they send him back? We're not sending him back. He's from here. That's like if I was somewhere else and I came back to the U.S. and they were like, no, U.S., send them back. The U.S. would be like, I'm not sending them back over there. What's wrong with y'all? So that's a stupid argument. Just stop it. Let's stop. Let's just let that go. It's going to be messy. I've been talking about it for months. It was going to be messy in no matter how you sliced it.
Well, I'm not Marco Rubio.
No, I know you're not.
This country illegally, you are going home. Simple as that. We do not have unlimited resources.
I think a lot of Americans
take care of other people.
There's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
They're not the same as black people who were brought here against our will.
That's exactly what I just said.
Hold up. Did y'all catch it? She said other than black people who were brought here as slaves. But that seems to be what set him off. I don't think he heard what she said or heard what she was trying to say. She was trying to say there were people other than the black people that were brought here illegally. There's some people here who are immigrants and we can't deport all of them. That's pretty much what she's trying to say.
Take care of other people.
There's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
They're not the same as black people who were brought here against our will.
That's exactly what I just said. I said there is a lot of people other than the black people.
There is a big difference.
That's exactly what I just said.
That's
exactly what I just said, Sir Michael. Look and act indignant. That's exactly what I just said.
Let me just share Michael.
Other than the black
Anna and share Michael.
There are a lot of people from many
Michael, I think you actually misheard what she. I think you misheard what she said.
No, he purposely misheard.
She said.
No. She said what he thinks she said, but she didn't really think she said that. And because she didn't think she said that, she didn't mean what he thinks she actually said. So technically, he might be overreacting a little bit. I see what she was trying to say, but the way it was jumbled up, if you weren't really paying attention to what she was really trying to, put across, yeah, that was a little, it seemed a little disrespectful to the black people that were slaves, to consider them to be illegal immigrants. First of all, slavery was legal, so they weren't illegal immigrants. They weren't illegal immigrants, they were legal slaves, and they became citizens when they were freed some hundreds of years later. So we cannot equate that to people running across the border and popping out a baby so it's a citizen. That is not the same thing with the African slave trade. So I can see why the guy was triggered by that, because if you try to equate it, it seems like you're being disrespectful to that struggle of 450 years of slavery. So, sorry. I was trying to side with Anna. I saw what she was trying to say. But even to say what she was trying to say was like, you don't even need to say that. You could have just said there's a lot of illegal immigrants in the country who are law-abiding citizens, paying taxes, and are good people raising their families. That's the point you want to make. And we don't want those people to be taken out of the country. That's how you got to say it. Because it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't want a violent criminal to leave. But they stop short of making the actual point that needs to be made where people can kind of meet in the middle. And that's why he wasn't trying to hear shit. She was saying, I'll play it for you one more time, and then we're going to move on to the next story. But she basically was trying to say there's a lot of people here that are decent people. And we're not just talking about the black people that came here illegally, which, like I said, she's wrong for that because it was legally. But she shouldn't have put the two in the same bin. I think that was where, and that's the same thing with equating all of the alphabet community to black people. I don't like that either. Because they be standing on stuff that I don't stand on from a point of blackness. So why am I roped into that for being black? I got to stand with y'all for this other thing that has nothing to do with blackness? Because you want to be a minority now? Like, no, don't rope me into your shit. Sorry. I don't have that problem, that issue you're having with bathrooms and stuff. So I'm not part of that protest. And any of my family members who have alternative lifestyles, as it would be considered, they don't have that issue. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to hear that either. But anyway, back to Anna Navarro. We'll let her finish it up one more time for those that missed it.
Rubio's grandfather.
All right,
We're not talking about Marco Rubio.
Oh, now we're not? Now that's not relevant?
It's not
no,
relevant.
I'm talking about Marco
Rubio
because Marco Rubio used to be an advocate for TPS for Venezuelans, and Marco Rubio used to be
I'm not Marco
an advocate
Rubio,
for Nicaraguans and Cubans. No, I know you're not.
If you come to this country illegally, you are going home. Simple as that. We do not have unlimited resources.
I think a lot of Americans
to take care of other people.
There's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
They're not the same as black people who were brought here against our will.
That's exactly what I just said. I said there is a lot of people than the black people.
There is a big difference.
That's exactly what I just said.
There's a big difference.
That's exactly what I just said, Shermichael. Look and act indignant. That's exactly what I just said.
Let me just share Michael.
Other than the black
Anna and share Michael.
There are a lot of people from
Share Michael. I think you actually misheard what she. I think you misheard what she said.
No, he purposely misheard.
She said.
Yes, she did.
So now you're in my brain.
Share Michael. Listen to me for just a second.
Is that where we're going?
You think I would say I will have advocated for black people my entire life and say something like that?
Because you've advocated for black people, great. Congratulations. Last time I checked, I'm black. You're not.
Okay, share Michael.
That's right. I'm Latino, and my people are being racially profiled.
And do I have to remind you the history of my people?
Share
Do you
Michael.
want to go there?
I don't.
Do you really
Okay.
want to go there?
Raul, we're going to go to break. Raul Reyes, thank you very much for joining us. Everybody else, hang tight. We'll be right back.
Well, I'll give Abby her props on how she closed out. She was very poised. Like, even with all of that going on in the background here, there's in the background, but Abby's like, so we're going to go back to the...
Raul, we're going to go to break. Raul Reyes, thank you very much for joining us. Everybody else, hang tight. We'll be right back.
When I was studying history, like
My happy. All right, so nonetheless, how do y'all feel about it? I think Anna Navarro was out of line, but I think she didn't know she was out of line, if that makes sense. It's like when a racist calls a person the N-word, they know what they're doing. They're trying to do it. I feel like, I'm not going to say she was innocent. She just said something that she thought meant something different and would like, you know, kind of have a kumbaya moment. And it didn't come across that way. Shermichael was not having it. He was not going to let it fly across that table without volleying that right back over there. Like, don't you even bring black people into the illegal immigration conversation. This is the fear mongering. I hope you guys understand. Black American people are citizens of the United States. That's the reason why I have a real ID I didn't even ask for. I just renewed my license, and with the information they already had, they were like, this person's a citizen, he gets a real ID. So there is no equation. I'm sorry to anyone that feels oppressed in this situation if you're being deported, but we are not the same. Doesn't mean that you're not going through what you're going through, but stop dragging us into shit. And it's not about us. Like, it don't never be about us, but it always got us up in it. I don't like that. It's annoying to me. It's almost as annoying as the fact that my monitor keeps flashing behind me. That's crazy, right? But it's annoying to me that every time people want to talk about and oppress people, they want to drag black people into it, but the point that they're trying to make or the change that they're trying to have is not really for black people. So stop dragging us into it if it's not going to really benefit us. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You can have your protests. You can have your this, but stop trying to say like black people, like black people. Y'all don't even want to be around black people. So stop bringing us into it unless you're going to try to bring us out of it. And for those that missed that, you part of the problem. Anyway. So I'm through with Anna Navarro. Like I said, she was trying, but she messed up, and she needs to probably say, yo, I didn't really mean to come across like that. I wasn't trying to say that. That's all I'm saying. And sometimes one of the toughest things for a person to have is accountability and be able to apologize. And if she does apologize, I believe Michael would have no problems accepting that apology. He seems like a pretty stand-up guy and pretty respectful, and I think if she came to him and talked to him about it after the fact, it probably was nothing. So I am through with them. All right, so what's the next story we got here? What do we got next? Because that one went longer than I thought it would, but it was a good conversation because a lot of people are saying that, you know, everybody keeps throwing race into everything. The race card is just thrown around so much that I have to go through everything because not everything is as racial as they make it. Some stuff is like people don't, they just ignorant. I hate to use the term, but they just don't know no better, right? They just be talking out the side of their neck. Their brain is not concerned. And so things will come out a certain way and you can't take it back once somebody hears it unless you, of course, apologize. But even then, sometimes you can apologize for stuff. And yeah, you apologize for it, but you still did it. So I'm still going to feel what you did. The apology is cool, but now I'm watching your ass. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. So Anna Navarro does that. What is this about? All right. I'm warning y'all. This is apparently is Kamala Harris is back. Okay? So, and she is making a run for, I think she's going to run for president again. I'm going to allow a moment of silence for her last campaign. That's it. That was it. Just a moment. Because that crashed and burned. And I would like to not see her put herself or anyone else through that again, if possible. Okay? All right. If you guys have the ability to let her know that Hayes on Purge the BS is asking, just, no, don't do that again. Just go chill out. Go enjoy life. Go enjoy Doug and your, you know, stepdaughter and your family, and go do that. Go enjoy your California life and have fun. That's all I'm saying. But she decided to do a speech and it's going viral, so now we got to look at it. Come on. All right, what we got here? We got volume. Let's see.
It's kind of dark in here, but I'm asking for show of hands. Who saw that video from a couple of weeks ago? The one of the elephants at the San Diego Zoo during the earthquake? Google it if you've not seen it. So that scene has been on my mind.
Really?
Everybody's asking me what you've been thinking about these days. Well,
elephants. Okay.
So in the video, for those who haven't seen it, here those elephants were. And as soon as they felt the earth shaking beneath their feet, they got in a circle and stood next to each other to protect the most vulnerable. Think about it. What a powerful metaphor
You hear the clap starter? The one person on the side was like, they had to get the clap started. Oh, man, I don't know about that one. Okay, so the elephants got around each other. Okay, let's see where this goes. Still got like a minute left of this. I don't know if this is going to take off or crash and burn.
Think about it. What a powerful metaphor. Because we know those who try to incite fear are most effective when they divide and conquer, when they separate the herd, when they try to make everyone think they are alone. But in the face of crisis, the lesson is don't scatter. The instinct has to be to immediately find and connect with each other.
Hold on a second, man. You know what?
She said you were parachuted in and you made...
Damn it, stop.
And you made a comment about her South African accent. What did you mean?
What is that? I don't even know what that is. Anyway. Shut my whole situation down. You see what happens? I can't even play Kamala clips without it messing up my computer system. Jesus. That was absolutely nuts. I played 20 seconds of this woman talking, and my whole system was like, I don't want to hear it again. I'm over it. You did months of it. Freaking ridiculous. So, for anybody that's a Kamala Harris supporter, fear not, for she has not disappeared. She is ready to come on back and woo the crowd, as she did the first time around that we were all present for. Now, on a serious note, I'm just going to be real because I'm going to get it out. I'm going to get it off my chest before I move on to the next story. If they do decide to run that way, in the words of Dave Chappelle, do better next time. Do better next time, okay? Don't think the same playbook that you just lost the game with is going to work. It's not. You got to do better next time, okay? All right, let's get into the next story because now I guess we're going into our politics area. Oh, okay, we're going to the politics area. Let's see what we got. So that was Kamala doing her thing. Oh, now I got to open up a whole new situation here. See, messing with y'all. Oh, crap, I have 2 viewers on Twitch. Isn't that nice? Yeah, we're on Twitch at this point. Twitch, I'm doing the, for those that are interested, because it doesn't really work well on this channel, but I'm doing the tips and tricks and the editing stuff that we go through for the shorts and some of the clips that we put together and how it all works in the background. Utilizing AI, dealing with multicasting to multiple forms simultaneously was the best way to do it. Optimizing computer settings, all types of stuff. So that's what's going on Twitch. So that's Twitch TV or twitch.tv /Purge of the BS. That's the IRL content. It's like the B-roll. Okay? So anyway, this next situation. Yeah.
Hey, y'all. So I'm jumping on really quickly. First of all,
no. It said judiciary going wild, and what comes up is Jasmine Crockett talking shit. I just got finished with Kamala. I can't jump right into Jasmine. But apparently that's what we're doing, so check it out. See what we got here. And make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you share the stream. We're changing it to a Saturday night thing. I know it's going to be tough this first round, but I need y'all to stick with us. All right, here we go. I wasn't ready. I just needed to pause for a second. All right, so apparently Jasmine Crockett was at work and she had this to tell us. This is a 15-minute video. I don't know what she talks about for 15 minutes.
Not gonna guess it because it don't make sense. But if you think of the most ridiculous thing that they could do, okay, I know that that's really hard too because everything that they do is quite ridiculous. But literally, they just voted. They being the other ones, not us, because we were all on the right side of history. They just voted to give Trump the ability, legally, to give him the ability to deport U.S. citizens. That is what they voted for. A bunch of elected U.S. representatives. That is how they voted. Am I telling a lie, Eric, or no?
No, I got my child here. Mouthful. No, I'm stunned.
I'm not. But I'm glad that you. Oh, okay. Eric been here longer than me, but like.
So what we said was, we even said, you know what? Many of us will not offer any more amendments tonight. We won't vote for the overall bill. But if you agree to this, we'll drop any other amendments. We'll take the win that this would be in the bill, that you would agree U.S. citizens can't be deported. They voted to allow Donald Trump to deport U.S. citizens. And they did it during the week that we learned that a 4-year-old little girl fighting cancer, a U.S. citizen, has been deported, separated from her U.S. citizen father and her cancer treatment. So, yeah, it's kind of shocking.
Well, he's shocked. Y'all, listen now. I came in with nothing but fools. So he been here longer, so maybe he still has a little bit of shock in his life, but I don't personally. Because the fact is, we used to live in a world in which where we saw the news about that baby that got deported, the baby with cancer, because supposedly he the man that's all about the children with cancer, right? Like, that's why he made sure one of his guests was at the State of the Union was a child with cancer. So surely, even though they're cutting cancer funding, but like it is a U.S. citizen. Like there honestly isn't even this real thing of like deporting a U.S. citizen. As far as I'm concerned, you randomly kidnapping folk and you throwing them out of the country against their civil rights, against their constitutional rights. And frankly, how would they feel if some other country decided that they were going to just start throwing people randomly in our country? Like.
All right. See, I got to stop right there. I'm not going to take too much more time with this. So, I heard what she said about this new thing about deporting U.S. citizens. That's not really 100% correct. They didn't vote to put that clause in whatever they were voting on. Okay? That is 100% true. So she is right on that. They would not add that clause to whatever this immigration deportation bill was. Here's the flip side that maybe people are not realizing is some of these things are already covered in the same constitutional rights that she's talking about. So if you are a citizen, I don't need to add to some deportation order that I can't deport you because you're already in the line of people I can't deport. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. I know a lot of people are not going to understand what that means, but I'm going to say it one more time. You are protected as a citizen regardless of any legislation that may come out now because it exists as part of the Constitution. Unless they're going to add another amendment to the Constitution, that doesn't change. Okay? And in order to do that, you already know there's no way that passes. There's no way that they're going to start rounding up black people and sending them where, I don't know where the hell they're supposed to send them. Can't send them back to Africa. So the whole point is people who are registered as citizens cannot be deported anyway. They didn't need to put it in the damn bill. So they decided to say, well, we need to put this in the bill. In my opinion, they should have just said fine, just so they could get whatever passed. But it looks like there may be some smoke in there. We're going to find out. But I don't see it, guys. I don't see it.
That is absolutely insane. So yes, all I gotta say is y'all need to get these fools out of here. But Deborah is so much nicer about how she says things. She wasn't them real. She's one of them real good nice lawyers. Okay, listen, I can only imagine how Deborah was in the courtroom, honey. But Deborah also sits on judiciary. So tell us, what are your thoughts? How do you explain that this is what they decided to do?
They're mean. They're heartless and they're cruel. And they do not care about anybody except themselves. But if you're going to be able to deport U.S. citizens, then they're coming for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So again, like all those people that are saying that they have.
First of all, if they truly believe that, then why would they be down there? Like if you thought they were just going to start deporting whoever they just don't like, why wouldn't they deport your ass? If you really felt like that, why would you be down there at the building? That's like if you know you got warrants and you down at the police station hanging out, smoking a vape in the lobby. I don't know. This is where, like I said, this is where the smoke is there. Because if you truly, truly believe that, then you would be in danger, Miss Jasmine Crockett. Maybe not the Caucasian woman that was with you, but according to this, if it's U.S. citizens, then that's every damn body. We can deport everybody we want. That's what she's saying that they're saying. And if that's true, that's crazy. But I don't necessarily believe that that's what happened down there.
For you.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're coming
So
for
again,
you.
like all
What
those
she
people
saying.
that are saying that they have some sort of buyer's remorse about their votes because they never thought that this was going to impact them and that kind of stuff or whatever. Here's the reality. When we go out and make votes, instead of going out and deciding that you're going to vote for the person that is going to be quote unquote perfect, what you need to be doing is looking for somebody that at least has some common decency. Because ultimately, when it comes down to it, I can tell you, if it was somebody else that was in office other than him as the president of the United States, maybe we would have had a different result. But they are so afraid. They are afraid to do what is right. Again, I keep trying to tell people, this isn't about partisanship. This is about right versus wrong. Now listen, y'all know this fighter. She stays on the front lines, at all times. But no, tell us, because actually this was your amendment. It was. So this is the author of the amendment, and we all thought it was common sense, but as we are learning, common sense ain't so common.
Yeah. No, look.
Oh, that lady. Okay, I'm through with this. I'm through with it. All right, I'm gonna tell you what. I got the same energy on both sides. Cut the check. Cut the crap and cut the check. Whatever the situation is, let me see it. Don't keep telling me that, because honestly, if this is true, then these two women look like the perfect candidates to get randomly deported. Because they don't like you. Because that's what they're saying. They'll just deport you because they don't like you. Because you say something against the administration. Not saying that there's not nefarious stuff going on. What I'm saying is, in mass, this is not going to happen. Okay? We got to pay attention for those isolated incidents so that they don't become a pattern. But no, don't let these folks get you all riled up on that shit. That was dumb. All right, so we got that. Oh, wow. So we're down to our last segment here. Okay, we're on our last segment. I'm going to save the DOGE kids for tomorrow. Yeah, I'll save the DOGE kids for tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to get to our last segment here, guys. This is for the learners, okay? For anybody that comes in late, this is for the learners. If you want the wild craziness, we had a couple of people get arrested. We had a lot going on early. This is for the learners. Basically, I wanted to bring you guys into an understanding of a recent executive order. So with that, like I said, I want you to keep an eye on these faces. If what they say is true, when they deport or try to deport Jasmine Crockett and this other lady, or put them on a list, then I'll start believing that they're just randomly deporting people they don't like, because that would make sense. That you're going against the opposition. You're right there at the office. They could just call down the hallway and say, hey, come pick this one up. So if you really were afraid of that, I think you would find a different way of expressing it. That's just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. So let's get into this last piece and let's get out of here. All right, for the learners. All right, we're going to go for the learners here. So a lot of people may not have found out just yet, but there was a recent executive order that ended the funding for something that most of us grew up on and probably raised some kids with, which is PBS and NPR. Now, because of the broad scope of the statement I just made, I had to do some research, because that's what I heard. Somebody sent me the story. They said, you know what? They're getting rid of PBS and they're getting rid of NPR as well. Now, I wasn't really big on NPR, but PBS, like I said, did have a value. I grew up with Sesame Street and a few other things, so PBS was like known to me. Part of the reason why I went with Purge of the BS as the name of this channel, or the name of the show. So on May 1st, which was just a couple of days ago, there was an executive order that got signed to defund NPR and PBS, and exploring the implications with that money for media politics and public discourse. Okay, I think y'all need to understand what that means. What they're saying is they found out that they were paying money for propaganda work to go through PBS and NPR, and they want to take that money away. Now, here's the thing. It all started with the CBP. If y'all don't know what the CBP is, that's the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And these federal agencies, they all work together, and they kept saying that there was this thing with taxpayer funds being misused. Now, I don't watch PBS as often as I used to. But PBS Kids is still pretty cool for the kids. And the PBS NewsHour, they definitely went a little left for a while, but they still had some pretty good stories, pretty good stuff. And those organizations, they relied on federal government for about 25% of their total funding. So, knowing that, it does explain to you it's not a total loss, okay? So PBS is not going away. So if somebody told you that, it's not 100% true. Let's go over this thing real quick so you guys can see it, and then we're going to get the hell up out of here. All right, let's run it. Let's run it. So, ending taxpayer subsidization of biased media. And here's the problem. The bias is only what you don't like, normally. Where I start to find the problem is some of the information is spun and it creates a narrative that's untrue. And that is what we need to stop doing, okay? Truth is, it doesn't need a lot of assistance, but you got to put it out there for people to understand what the truth is. So in this one, the Trumpster comes through, you know, by the authority vested in me and so on and so forth. And let's see what he says. So Americans have the right to expect that if their tax dollars fund public broadcasting, they fund only fair, accurate, unbiased, and nonpartisan news coverage. Now, I know a bunch of people are going to say, well, Trump wants it to be all about him and be positive about him. I'm sure that's what he wants, which kind of goes against the whole thing. But I digress. Okay, so the government is entitled to determine which of the activities to subsidize. The CBP's governing statute reflects principles of impartiality, and the CBP may not contribute or otherwise support any political party. It didn't just say Republicans. It said any political party. That's in the Publicrats like us. That's the independents. That's the Green parties. That's the libertarians. That's the everybody. They're not allowed to represent a political party. Apparently, they have failed to abide by that by allowing lobbyists to give them money. And so what happened is the viewpoints don't matter. What matters is that neither entity presents a fair, accurate, or unbiased portrayal of current events to taxpaying citizens. I therefore instruct the CBP Board of Directors and all executive departments and agencies to cease federal funding for NPR and PBS. So that's number one. The heads of all agencies shall also identify and terminate to the maximum extent the same thing. Just don't give them no money. Okay, that's the second section 2. Section 3, if any provision of the order or application is held to be invalid, the remainder of this order and the application of its provisions to any other agencies, persons, or circumstances shall not be affected thereby. So what that means is if they find out later that they can't do this, nobody's held responsible for doing it. Okay, all right. Nothing in the order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency, the functions of Director of Office of Management and Budget. It shall be implemented consistent with applicable law, blah, 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 blah. And the order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, agents, or any other person. So it's basically saying nobody can sue us for this or sue the agencies for what is being, for following the executive order. Okay. All right. Oh, here it is right here. Here it is right here. It's in section C is where it got funky. Let's look at this. This is DEI. This is the DEI clause. Everything has a DEI clause in it with the Trump administration. So here was the DEI clause. The Secretary of Health and Human Services shall determine whether the Public Broadcasting Service and National Public Radio or any successor organization, so that includes PBS Kids, like a subdivision, or anything that's created out of it. So they've got to make sure that they are complying with the statutory mandate that no person shall be subjected to discrimination in employment on the grounds of race, color, religion, national origin, or sex. In the event of a finding of noncompliance, Secretary of Health will take appropriate action. So what that's saying is, make sure you're not just hiring people because they're black, because if you do that, you're breaking the rule. So they took the money away because of DEI. There must have been some DEI type stuff going on there. There was also some propaganda going on there. And like I said, PBS did change over the years. They're not what they used to be. And this one, I'm gonna give it a let's wait and see where this goes, because number one, PBS was not funded in full by the federal government. A quarter of their total funding was the federal government. So I would imagine private investors, advertising companies, whoever will make up that little gap, and they'll just continue business as usual. Well, it'll be pretty transparent to us. So don't worry about your kids not getting to see Sesame Street and all that kind of stuff. At least not yet. It may happen, it may not happen, I don't know. But at least not with this. This is just saying we not paying for it no more. And as far as the taxpayer, that's what that's saying. The taxpayer is no longer paying for PBS. PBS is going to need to be privately funded in some other way since they want to have a particular political bias. That's it. And they can't get no money if they doing DEI. But that's the regular Trump stuff. So this is nothing new. I don't know why they sent it to me. Like, I feel like the point was to say that PBS was supposed to disappear. That's what was told to me, is that PBS is shut or got shut down. And NPR got shut down. Like I said, wasn't really an NPR guy, but I definitely had some value in PBS, so that's why I looked into the story. But it looks like that's some bullshit. So no worries, PBS will still be there for you. So nonetheless, guys, I do have to get the hell out of here because I got some things to do. I got some more content to do. I might jump on the Twitch for a little bit. I'll see how my wife feels about that. And if not, I'll see you guys tomorrow evening when I got my nice-ass podcast gentleman on here. Bricks and Bravo will be on here tomorrow. We're supposed to be doing the official call-in show, but everybody's scared to call in. So that's not working too well yet. So we got to get some people ready to call in because I got some special Purge guests coming in the next few weeks, and I need them to get a little more interactivity from the people who are watching the show. So nonetheless, guys, special shouts to Paul Warner in the building. Special shouts to Purple Groovy in the building, as usual. Thank you. Special shouts to, who else we got? IMZ was in the building. We had who was the flybys? We had a couple of flybys in here. I'll give them a shot. Pepsi Warren stopped by for a second, so this gong is for you. Let's see what else we got. And that's pretty much it. It was a light night, but this is our first time doing a Saturday night in well over a year. So the algorithm, I'm a stranger to the algorithm. Might as well be a brand new channel coming over here on a Saturday night, competing with all of the cool content creators that are out there. So I appreciate you guys for stopping through, and just understand, take a moment, read up when they tell you some stuff, like when they told me PBS was getting shut down. I can't take nothing at first glance anymore, because everything is getting spun and everything is like just stupid, basically, at this point. And I for one, am not for it. I just want to have a conversation. I want to keep my folks calm, make sure y'all don't have any escalation energy going out into the world and causing problems and BS. Because if I didn't do that, I'd be doing a disservice to society, because that's my role and my mandate. Make sure, if you're still here or if you check this out later, make sure you check out our merch on freemanservices.org, and that's freemansvcs.org, or you can hit the link here on this video and check out some merch as well. That is how we fund our company, Freeman Services, is through YouTube and subscriptions, memberships, all that kind of stuff. So all of your donations are greatly appreciated. You can also send things through Cash App at $ Freeman SVCS to our company, and it is all greatly appreciated. So guys, enjoy the rest of your night, because if you're not enjoying life, then that, my friends, is the bullshit. We out.